Welcome back to MMTV, I'm Tim Sylvie, welcome to the shed, it's snowing outside, this is our W-Series special feature. When the W-Series first appeared, people weren't that keen. Even female racing drivers weren't that keen. I remember chatting with some female racers back when rumours started circulating about this new all-female series, and they said it was discrimination, that it was segregating women even further from the sport they love as they're just trying to bring it all together. Even one of the women that's currently racing in the W-Series said at the time that it wasn't for her. She just didn't see the value in it. She couldn't see how this was going to benefit female racing drivers. How things change. And I can actually quote W-Series founder Catherine Bonmuir, a former guest on our podcast, who said, "Motorsport was going in the opposite direction. That was the moment I thought this is going to be controversial. I always believed it would be, because by definition of doing something like this in motorsport, it was going to be high profile. But I will stand from the top of the tallest building and say what we're doing was right, and more importantly was needed to raise the profile of women. Our detractors, if you note, have almost all been women. Actually, men in motorsport were incredibly supportive, saying something needs to be done. Something needs to change." So I'd encourage you to go and check out episode 12 of the podcast where we interview Catherine for about an hour. Really interesting, insightful conversation. Go and have a look. However, time is a great healer. And as time went on and the series started gathering pace, people started changing their tune, including me. We've spoken to loads of female guests about female participation in motorsport. We've had Nikki Shields, Jenny Gow, Abby Eaton, and they've all now said the same thing. W-Series is putting more bums on seats. It's getting more competitive action for women racing drivers. It's giving more of an opportunity to shine, more of an opportunity to push on in the championship, and push on into other championships afterwards and race against the boys and beat them, as Jamie Chadwick has often proved. And now, with super license points awarded in the championship, there's even more reason to get involved. I believe it's 15 points if you win the entire championship outright, and they can continue a march to Formula One on that basis. And Jamie already has her involvement with the Williams F1 team, and I'm sure as things progress, we'll see more and more of those types of relationships building until it comes to a point, perhaps in a few years' time, when we see a full-blown female F1 driver. It's also a series that has a great deal of credibility. Although he's recently left, Matt Bishop was there as communications director. He's now gone to Aston Martin Cognizant. The Aston Martin Cognizant Formula One team. But he was brought in back in the day by David Coulthard and was instrumental in getting the word out there, speaking to his press contacts and making sure everybody in the motorsport world and beyond knew about this new all-female championship. Dave Ryan is also involved, and he was the guy that went out and found the cars, found the chassis, the right chassis that fitted what the W-Series needed. And of course, Catherine leads brilliantly from the front. It's a team effort over at W-Series, and they're doing a very, very good job indeed. They managed to get a deal to show the races live on Channel 4, and I think at the time were the only live motorsport event showing on the top 5 channels in the UK at that particular time. They were broadcasting to 340 million homes worldwide and had deals across 2/3 of the planet, which is amazing and ridiculous in equal measure. Now then, one question that constantly crops up, and it crops up on our podcast all the time, is when are we going to see a female F1 driver? And for me, don't shoot me, it's a bit too early. W-Series is so young in its life cycle. W-Series is so young in its life cycle that it's not had the opportunity to rotate, to circulate enough times to pump out consistently high performers. Yes, it's had some really excellent drivers come through, but are they yet at the quality to push on and get into Formula One? I'm not sure. But having been to a W-Series race and seen the enthusiasm of the young girls that are there, looking up to their racing female heroes, surely it's only a matter of time. Participation will continue to grow, and eventually, hopefully, we'll see a female world champion in Formula One. Why not? But I think it could be a few years. 5, 10, who knows? One excellent string to the W-Series bow is that they've linked up with Formula One to join for certain race weekends across the season. I think 8 races in total across 2021, all being well with COVID and everything else. What a shop window for those ladies to put themselves in front of F1 teams, F1 team bosses, and showcase their skills and their talents. I think they'll be in Le Castellet, Spielberg, Silverstone, Budapest, Spa, Zandvoort, Austin, Mexico. Some amazing tracks in there. Wow. And as an aside, keep an eye out on the Indy 500 this May, hopefully, if that happens. Well, it will happen. Whether or not there'll be people there or not is another matter. There's an all-female team entry in the form of Peretta Autosport. Fair play to Beth Peretta for making that happen. But how cool to see an all-female team competing in one of the greatest races on the planet. And why can't they win? You know, that race is so unusual that strategy comes into it to such a degree. Luck does as well. It's a hugely long race. Why can't they go on and win it? How cool would that be? So, one final one for you to ponder, and I can't take credit for this one. Harry Benjamin on our podcast put this to us, put it to a guest actually. It may have even have been Catherine. Will success for the W Series be defined by the day that it's no longer needed? Real nice one there from Harry Benjamin. Well done, you. An interesting thought indeed. Now that's it. Please drop a like if you enjoyed it, a sub if you loved it, and feel free to comment with decorum down below. Until the next one, goodbye.